Hello. Where'd my PND tuber go? Oh, there they are. All right. Hello to Neppy, Van, Lay, L, Jick. I think that's everyone who was in chat so far. And if you haven't sounded off in chat, feel free to say hi. Good time zone. Van's eating leftovers and is obviously sharing with everyone and sending it all across the world to us. Hello Nico and Bunny. Good to see everyone. We had a break last week, but we're back again today. Just letting everyone know we have a limit of 10 on the queue today, and that'll be for the stream. So I'll lock the queue after we get 10 joins. Currently we're at 5 out of 10. Because I have a really bad habit of keeping the queue open, then it's a bit long. Alright, so we'll do our usual hymn for Hermes to open, and then we can have someone in the chat choose another deity who has a hymn in the Orphic hymns that we can read for. So I believe we've done Hestia, we've done Dionysus. Not sure who else we've done. I'm just gonna also quickly close the door, my bedroom door, so I'm not too loud. Hera. Yes. She's number 16 after Zeus. Alright, we'll do our hymns, and then because I will be opening up the monthly divination event that is starting in 5 minutes. After the hymns, I will open that event. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll sequence it that way. All right, let's get Hermes. As our streams are always dedicated to him. Hear me, Hermes, messenger of Zeus, son of Maya, almighty in heart, lord of the deceased, judge of contests. Clever and gentle and clever, O Argefontes. You are the guide of the flying sandals, a man-loving prophet to mortals, a vigorous god you delight in exercise and in deceit. Interpreter of all you are, and a profiteer who frees us of cares, who holds in his hands the blameless tool of peace. Lord of Quiricos, blessed, helpful, and skilled in words, you assist in work and you are a friend of mortals in need. You wield the dreaded weapon and the respected weapon of speech. Hear my prayer and grant a good end to a life of industry, gracious talk, and mindfulness. Alright, and then... Oh, thank you so much! That's an early donation, and I really appreciate it. Let me make sure I get up just in case there's a... Oop, that's the wrong thing. Message? Aw, thank you so much. I'm glad you're excited. Alright. let me quickly finish this hymn and then I'll sort out the queue because of the donation priority. Right, page 17. There we go. To Hera. You lodge yourself in dark hollows, and your form is airy. O Hera, blessed queen of all, consort to Zeus, the soft breezes you send to mortals nourish the soul. O mother of rains, mother of the winds, you give birth to all. Life does not exist without you. You are in everything, even in the air we venerate. You are queen and you are mistress. You toss and turn when the rushing wind tosses and turns. O blessed goddess, many-named queen of all, may you come with kindness on your joyous face. Wow, I have never read Hera's Orphic hymn. That's really beautiful. It's cool that she's referred to as the mother of rains and mother of winds. Alright, let me just shift Jick up in the queue. You get to be first. And how has everyone been? Next week is Christmas, and Hanukkah has started as well, I know. And perhaps there are other holidays people are celebrating, the solstice coming up. Any plans? Cool stuff going on? Band's doing alright, crocheting something. Ah, happy birthday to your grandma for yesterday. Bunny's busy. Good type of busy. Oh, that's good. Family's coming over. We have Nico and Nappy both doing last minute Christmas shopping. True. I've never felt so robbed. Is it because like there was a bunch of stuff already sold, or is it because like the prices were high? Right, for those in the Sanctuary of the Crossroads, I'm about to start the divination event. And yes, I take advantage of that to claim a reading. Start event. There we go. Working and working. Hopefully you get good rates because it's holidays. And you're going to an Artist Alley event. Oh, well, I hope that there's a lot of good art there. Because it was so expensive. Ah. Alright. Now that that's started, Jick Mera, let me know what you'd like for your reading and I'll get that started for you. Oh, you can choose if, typically readings here deity, so you can choose deity or like in a deck if you have a question or if you just want a message. I'm busy next week as well. Because one of the days I'm spending the day with my partner, and we're going to do a trip like to the other side of the city. And then Christmas Eve is Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day there's a few plans. And then on Boxing Day there's also a few plans. So it's gonna be a social week next week, which is okay. So you recently reached one of your biggest milestones in your art career. Wow. Congratulations. You're getting a bit overambitious. You want to know if you should prioritize things based on reason more than based off passion in the coming year. Okay. What's up, my fellow Rizzlers? I probably should not have said that. That's a very brain-rotty quote. That's a cool question. Okay. Well, what I can do is I can pull a few cards for each one. So I can pull some cards for prioritizing reason and some for prioritizing passion. No! No! You're clipping me! No! I'm getting clipped. Alright, so if you should prioritize reason, how would that go? What would that look like? Wow, did you see how that card flew? It flew like off screen. And like here, this way. Usually they go this way. Did you use that accented O as like a shocked, like open mouth face? Alright, and this one is for passion. Oh! Sorry, the bot got you. Alright, I think there's an answer here already. But let me explain. So for the first option, it was about reason. For reason, you got the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Page of Cups. So what I'm seeing for, you know, your art career and going with like the more reason-based path that you're thinking about, there may be some good opportunities regarding like transactions and exchanges of, you know, funds. The Six of Pentacles is about, it's about this sort of balance, the scales. It can also be about generosity, so people giving. But it can also bring into things like power dynamics, where whether you feel like it's safe to be paid for something, if it's like a certain demographic of people paying it, and they may not necessarily have the funds to pay you what you deserve. Or it could be you feeling like you need to appeal to some people who have more resources in order to provide for you. So there's a few different interpretations here, where I feel like all of them can contribute to the idea around reason, where, you know, you are navigating situations with logic, reason, and you're trying to work a lot more with the mind. And so it's sort of like, it's like scales themselves. They could tip in any direction. So the Seven of Cups is about choices. And sometimes it's about a choice that maybe looks good and you might consider going for it because of appearances or because it seems like something that you should be going for, but then there's might be something like, you know, hidden that like pops out. And I think there's a reason why you may be a bit hesitant about making a sure choice about reason, because, you know, for a lot of us in how we grow up and like, you know, society and culture and stuff, we're taught that reason is like superior. Not everyone is taught this way, but a lot of people are. Reason is superior because, you know, it's reliable, because it's more evidence. Like people think it's like considered more evidence-based, it's more scientific, and so generally it's regarded as more positive. And so there could be that, you know, element also of influence where you look at, you know, examples or what you assume of people's experiences or previous, you know, experiences as an example or template for your career and try to like emulate that. And so that might like bring a lot of reasoning and logic into it. The Page of Cups though it tends to be a card about like unexpected things popping up, which is good. Like the Page of Cups isn't a bad card. Like and unexpected things popping up isn't a bad thing either. It's sort of like being surprised about what can come of something. So there are some like good elements in terms of reasoning where it comes, you know, with this sort of exchange and generosity possibilities about what's unexpected, but also some other elements that are not as easy to sit in. On the other hand, we have these cards over here, which are quite contrasting, because we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have Judgment, and we also have the King of Swords. And this side is about your passion, so about following passion as your path. The 10 of Pentacles, if this was a card game, trumps the 6 of Pentacles. Like the 10 of Pentacles is just better because you can see here, it's like, it's not about an exchange. It's not about hierarchy. It's not about power. It's about being provided for. It's about abundance, inheritance, reaching a peak, like a end of a cycle, but not in the way of like things ending. More so, you've done all the work and now you've reached the 10 of Pentacles. So it's just like this card is simply better than this one in that way. It's very reassuring for career because it's like you're going to get so much out of it. I really like Judgment and King of Swords together because the swords, like, they still have this element of logic and the mind to it, right? And reason. And so it's almost like the cards are saying, even if you see yourself going down this passion path that you're imagining, you're still actually going to be bringing reason into it, but you won't be restricting yourself. You won't be barring yourself from doing what makes you feel good. And the King of Swords can also be about boundaries and communication. So there's this sort of sense that you'll be able to communicate better, express things a bit better, you know, have a bit more authority in how you present yourself. And at the same time with Judgment, it's this idea that you will be getting to the next level of things and allowing yourself to answer the call. So you see how the angel is like trumpeting down and then people rising up to the call. It's like that. It's like the angel represents your passion, your goals, what you are ambitious towards, and you are the people who are rising up and, you know, you're letting yourself hear the call and you're letting yourself respond to it. So I think there is a very clear answer from these cards about, or I guess things to consider, because, you know, don't let your life choices be decided by just a single reading, but I can see here how, you know, there are some preferences I think that you may even relate to. I think it makes sense to be apprehensive if you've reached big milestones and you're feeling over ambitious, but ambition's good. You know, that's how we get to good places. You know, that's how you got to where you are. It's how a lot of people get to where they are. So you've got this. Yeah. Reading back the messages, nephew, that's so funny. I watched it, the immediate regret. Yeah, I said it and I was like, you know what? That was probably not a good idea. Hey Viv, Nice to see you. And you're welcome, Jick. I'm glad that you feel more reassured about that. That's super cool that you have a lot of art stuff going on. That was a nice reading to start us off. Alright, let's see. I don't think I can make the setting so that like it only does 10 total. So I'm gonna move the queue. We currently have 6 people, so 4 more people can queue. I guess if my mods can just keep an eye out. If 4 more people join the queue, then let me know to close the queue. Oh, Neppy's turn. Oh, that's nice that you're getting ASMR tingles. I was thinking a future project would be like actually setting up that ASMR channel that people have been kind of jokingly suggesting. Tarot ASMR. For the people who have been in VC with me before, like, is it the same like when I'm speaking on stream versus on like VC? Because I've never gotten the comments about ASMR when I'm in a VC, but I do get it on stream. Oh, also I want to show you guys is cool. Look at this crocheted coaster. This is what Elle made for me. It's the sun. I mean, the color's kind of weird on the camera, but I've never really had a coaster, so. Neppy, it's your turn. Let me know what you'd like for your reading. Similar, it's more clear in VC. I feel like it pulls away the breathiness. Oh, you know what? That makes sense because Discord has the noise suppression and like specific software around voice. So that's probably why that's the case. Yeah, it is pretty. Oh, yes. Archangel. I remember. We're going to do that one. I think it was Gabriel. Did I mention who it was last time? Last stream? That's true as well. Usually we don't have lo-fi music in VC. Alright, well for some reason I do remember feeling pulled to a specific deck, which could only mean either Raphael or Gabriel, but I do think it was... I do think it's Gabriel. So Archangel Gabriel is the messenger archangel, also associated with the moon, and at least like in biblical stories was the one who announced to Mary that she was having Jesus, or she was going to be the mother of Jesus. So he's kind of famous. I think it's also funny for Archangel Gabriel to have a message for you because you recently started working with or started worshipping Hermes, or including Hermes in your practice. And they're very similar in being messengers. Oh, these are nice. Yeah, he's kind of famous, not to brag. I know a famous angel. I'm gonna pull one from this as well. All right. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so we'll start with these oracle cards. These are from his deck, the Archangel Gabriel deck. The first one is Open Your Heart to Love. The more you open your heart and pour your love into your creations, the greater their life force energy. True. Allow yourself to love and care about the things that you're working on. You also have blocks lifted. Previous obstacles came from fear and they are now lifted away. That's very reassuring. And we have allow yourself to receive. Open your arms to welcome the blessings and answered prayers that are being sent to you. That's a whole lot of positivity and I love it. It all feels very connected, and you know, even though the deck is themed around a specific archangel, not every card has such a tight connection with each other. But this one just seems like all bang bang bang, like it's time to love, it's time to care, it's time to invest in your projects and also allow yourself to be complimented or, you know, to be supported in your projects. Or, you know, I say projects like generally, could be anything. And also blocks lifted is a nice one too. You know, if you've been feeling like there's been obstacles in the way, a bit of being stagnant a little bit, then, you know, that's really reassuring. Especially going into, the solstice, the new year, a lot of energy around new beginnings and change going on. Also because, like in the numerology sort of thing, next year is like a 1 year, like this year was 9. And so next year is 1. And it's like, that's a really huge thing for like new beginnings. And it's also the year of the horse next year in Chinese zodiac, which can be associated with like fortune coming in. A lot of households, like Chinese households or East Asian households, we have imagery of like horses running in our houses, and we like put it so the horse is like running into the house, and so it kind of like looks like, well, it's like meant to symbolize and like encourage fortune and stuff to enter the house. So yeah, that's some good stuff. Oh, you've been very stressed, not sure if you've been accepted into uni. So is the dorm and the uni acceptance separate? And they like do the dorm one first, because that's pretty silly. This is your Angels for the Modern Mystic card. So this is the art for it, which is very nice. And I'm going to read it out loud for you. So the Angel of Purpose. Become a shooting star. If you don't know what you should be doing with your life or what the best path forward is, ask the Angel of Purpose to help you find your spark. When nothing makes sense or feels clear, allow them to remind you that meaning isn't necessarily found in your career, your relationships, or your hobbies. It is about living every moment to the full. Finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Savoring the power of the present. Knowing you are not alone and that everyone is connected by love is what gives life direction and purpose. To reconnect with your loving spark, set aside some time for stargazing. Look up at the night sky and allow feelings of awe to remind you that you are a child of this universe, no less than the trees and the stars. Your purpose is to live your precious life, to learn and evolve from every experience and to reconnect to the loving and infinite energy within and around you. Ah, that's nice. It does feel like a bit of a response to stresses at the moment, you know. There's only a certain time that you will actually hear back in regards to, you know, what you are stressing about. So perhaps you could try your best to find those little sparks in the meantime and to know that you are being taken care of and that blocks are being lifted and that you'll be guided in the right direction. Even if you don't know what it looks like right now. And when it says as well, in this card, it says ask the angel of purpose, you know, for assistance. Because this reading is with Archangel Gabriel, you can also ask him. You can say, or her, you know, angels, they have whatever pronouns you wish to use for them, but you can even ask him if, like, he could assist, because it's like knowing if you're accepted is like a message you're being delivered, and because he is the archangel of messages and messengers, it's kind of hand in hand. So petitioning both Gabriel and Hermes, you know, like this, will be really good. And you don't have to be you don't have to be a specific religion to petition an angel or like pray to an angel. It doesn't have to be formally formatted as well. You can just speak from the heart. But yeah, that's your reading. And it was good. Yeah. Well, I'd like to say you can stack your magic, right? Like, you can, you know, you don't go willy-nilly praying to like every single god of every pantheon within a certain domain, but like both Hermes and Gabriel, who are like either a god you already have in your practice or an angel who has made their presence known. And it's also not specific, like, you know, it doesn't require you to be in a specific religion. Yeah, it will probably be helpful. All right, Van's next. You're welcome, Neppy. Thank you for requesting a reading. Doot, 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 doot. Also, folks, feel free to chat in the chat if you want. I don't mind if people are chatting while we have readings going on. Holy Bunch of Roses. Hello. That's a fun name. From Zeus. Very cool. And makes sense. Before the stream, I was literally writing the last part of the reading you ordered. So it's like half done. I need to finish it probably tomorrow and then send it to you. Would you like to pick a deck for your reading with Zeus? And do you have a specific question or inquiry?
Let's go back to the simple times of playing on the craft. I just want to go back. I just want to go back. Last time I logged off, didn't know it's forever. How would I know the last time all my friends be together? Had a big ass world, but my dreams were even bigger. Every time that played on Hunger Games, look, I was the winner. Mom yelling downstairs, honey, it's time for dinner. I put on my creeper hoodie and I pull up the zipper. Hey, long car rides, my Nintendo DS back then.
All right.
Before I started dreaming of sex was the best.
No preference.
Grinding Pokemon X until I beat all my games and I just wondered what's next. And then I put it back for the last time. Mom came in when it's bedtime. I pretended I was sleeping. Can't believe she believed it. These memories gone. Wish I retrieved them. Wish I could. Wish I wanna go back to simpler times.
Reading with the king himself. Alright. For some reason, I got in my mind like this very Disney-esque scene of like, because I don't know if I've actually watched any movies with him in it. But it was like this animated scene and just this flash of lightning with a thunder sound effect. And then this like, it like transitions to this view of Zeus where you like, it's the perspective is like you're looking up at him. So it's not like a straight on perspective. And he's like kind of like smoldering and like looking off into the distance, like really cool and stuff. I just thought that was a really funny transition sort of thing I saw. Pokemon Sword, nice. Aura farming, yeah. Yeah, true. Alright, let's see. Oh, 7 of Cups again. Six of Cups. You can't really see it because of the glare. 6 of Cups. Three of Swords, but I think purposefully reversed. Alright, this is immediately telling me that there's a choice. Like all of them together, not just the 7 of Cups. Maybe there's one coming up, maybe there's one you need to make right now. That he's kind of waiting on an answer. Or am I off the path there, Van, you think? could be. I didn't get the impression that it would be about school, like education, because of the abundance of cups, which is usually associated with like emotional matters. I don't think it's like a negative choice in that it's like an ultimatum sort of deal, or if it's like one or the other sort of deal. I don't think it's that. I think it's more just your decision on how you want to approach something. Oh, this card again. Lionsgate. Alright. Because when I see like this Three of Swords, it feels like it's meant to be like split in the middle here, where it's like you have two choices, and he thinks that it would be beneficial for you to make the choice. And it's the sort of thing where it's like sometimes when you know that someone important to you has to make a decision about something to proceed or to move forward, but then they might be resisting or might be unable to, or waiting for some more information, stuff like that. Like it's like circumstances that are more nuanced than just this person is not wanting to make a choice. And then, you know, you may feel a bit like hurt because you think it would be like you would want the person to find peace in whatever choice there is to be made. Also, the Six of Cups, it's like something being given to you, and then it might be something that you're not used to, or something that you have certain impressions about already, but then you haven't quite unraveled those. Oh, you think you know. That's always a good sign, because sometimes I just be saying things and then hoping, I don't just be saying, I say things for a reason, but you know, there's always that chance that I'm saying something completely unrelated. Well, I think this provides us the context, and this provides us a bit of insight into, you know, his thoughts, some thoughts on it. The first card that came out from this deck was Combinations. And we see here, you know, these two, I guess, children. They have like these red onion heads, and one of them's holding a fish. And it's sort of like, you think about the combination of red onion and fish, and then onion heads. It's like, it doesn't feel like it's cohesive. It doesn't feel like it's aesthetically pleasing. But the card is actually meant to speak on how sometimes it's the unlikely combinations that work the best, or that are what's meant to be combined. Because, you know, we can get really used to following a template or the cookie cutter regarding what, you know, what might look best, what's supposed to go together, when it's not really about what's supposed to go together. Alright, let me read your message. Could be about the people you've met in the past uni. You've had been having a lot of emotional turmoil about what to do in regards to my relationship with them. That's another thing I can think of, is kind of messing with me a lot recently. Ah, I see. Like clicking back from another tab. Onion heads? Yeah, onion heads. Yeah. Sometimes the likely combinations don't actually work together, and sometimes the more unlikely combinations are the ones that work together. You don't have to restrict yourself to a specific combination or appearance or look or style. You can go with what suits you. It can feel uncomfortable sometimes. You can feel like you're being left out in the cold, being excluded. It can feel like, you know, where are the people around me who are also with me on this? You know, can I even do this if I'm the only one doing it? It's warm over here, so I need to keep drinking water. But yeah, as I've explained before with this card, it does represent, you know, the blizzard, the cold, kind of like spiral in that. But there's always a way out, and I think it's kind of, I feel like it's very it is suitable for Zeus in imagery, because he's associated with like the sky and lightning and stuff, and so there can be that slight association with blizzards and being out in the cold and being in a storm. I mean, I don't think it's even a slight association. I think it's a strong association. Storms and blizzards would make sense. Lion's Gate is the last oracle card you got from this deck, and I think it's really nice because the Lion's Gate card is all about it's referencing that there's that like date that people refer to, the 8th of August, 8 of 8th, called the Lion's Gate, and it's typically referred to as this time of transformation and big energy and, you know, stepping through the Lion's Gate to something bigger. And I think he wants to reassure you here that you are, you know, you are experiencing a threshold where you will find yourself stepping into something bigger and better than what you've experienced so far. Hello, Dark Master Tarot. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're well. Excluded and alone, that's how I felt with them. That's why I want to let go. There were good moments too. Yeah. That does make sense, and I understand that as well. I think it's a very human experience to feel that conflict around it. I think it's the sort of situation where, you know, I think you're basically already communicating it. You understand what the decision is, but it's just difficult to have to process or get through or see through to the other side. But I think there's a lot of signals here, you know, the Six of Cups, the Lion's Gate, so this whole messaging around like the blizzards and the combinations, that there is something to be provided to you and given to you with the change that's coming, and that you won't be just like left like hanging or without being provided for in this area. So right now I'm experiencing a lot of energy on my back, and it's like my whole back, it's as if someone has like come up at my back, and you know when someone comes up behind you and they like hug you, but it's not just like their arms, it's like their whole body. And then I felt like energy like running up my neck, like the back of my neck. And so that's meant, this is something I'm communicating to you because it's relevant to you. It's not me. Like I'm experiencing it because it's something I'm communicating to you, not because it's happening to me. But it's this idea that like not just Zeus, but all your deities have your back in that metaphorical sense and like literal sense, I guess. But also it was this feeling of them coming in and like just surrounding you in that comforting way. And so I think that's something that's really important for you, that they will be there. And yeah, I'm getting that very strong energetic presence to be like, yeah, communicated, because it was just like when you said that instantly, it was like Dionysus popped up and like other deities popped up. It's just that Dionysus is easiest for me to, I think maybe he was the closest as well to me, but easiest for me to identify. But it's the impression that the others around are also like close to you and who know you. Athena is one, maybe? Sometimes I forget people's deity wheels, but I got the impression of Athena as well. And that would be kind of sweet because like wisdom and studies and related to like people from your uni. Yeah. I know Haji is also significant to you, and I see her like she's she's like kind of standing a bit further back. Like if you imagine like a row of deities, like 3 of them like surrounding you, and then there's like it's not specifically 3, but it's just like for imagery's sake. I see her like standing at the back a little bit, and she's holding her snake. it's kind of cool. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad it was comforting for you. And it was really cool actually, because you know, as much as I do like sense things usually, and I've been practicing a lot and like trying to strengthen that this year, it's still like a surprise to me when I like feel that. I'm like, oh, that's relevant. Yeah, hopefully you can experience something similar, whether that is through a physical sense, an energetic sense, a visual, or even just a knowing of it. Alright, it's Nico's turn. Let me know what you'd like for your reading. Hey Gia. Yeah, she's very beautiful. A very beautiful maiden. Well, I saw her as a young woman. I'm not sure if she actually is to you, but yeah. Hello. Yeah, sure. That's called spinning the deity wheel. So you can just let me know which 3, and then we'll go from there. Alright, nice. My guesses were Hermes, Dionysus, and Thoth. So I got two out of 3 correct in my guess of who would be on the deity wheel. Viv got summoned. Perhaps. My Egyptian decks are underused. At least on stream. They're used like for my paid readings. Oh, I need to tell you folks about my special code I set up for you. I should do a command for it, but I'll just put in the chat for now, and then I'll do a command for it in a bit, unless it will like not let me. Okay, yeah, I set up this discount code for my wonderful Twitch community, Twitch viewers. It's a code for 30% off my readings on Ko-fi, and it ends on the 8th of January. So I'm running a normal sale from the 1st to the 8th of Jan on my Ko-fi and my Etsy for 25% off. But because you guys are super cool and on my stream, you get 30% off instead, and you can use it early. And it's expired on the 8th. So feel free to do that. Because I was going to do one next week, but then I realized it'd be pretty silly to do my main sale next week, because then I wouldn't have time to do the readings if I'm busy doing the holiday stuff. So it's like a New Year's sale instead, for most of the people, or for the rest of the people who aren't being super cool here watching my stream. And yeah, so that's the news. My Etsy may technically be discounted right now, but I'm not announcing it. Like, I'm not promoting it being discounted at the moment, because I don't want to overwhelm myself. Anyway, point being, you get the super cool code for yourself, because stream people are cool. You just wait till my payback flips will be coming. 82 of them. Nevi, sometimes you have some funny bangers. I'm gonna pin that. Alright, we got distracted. A lot of the times. Often. Alright. Hecate, Dionysus, or Hermes? Hecate today for you. I have an image of Hecate knocking on a door. I don't know if that means like, because I don't quite remember if you're a bit further along with her in your practice, or if like you're kind of in the early days. Sounds about right. That's funny. Yeah, she's knocking at a door. It will be officially starting come the new year. Oh, okay. Amazing. That's funny. It's good. She's keen. I don't know if you already planned this, but you can probably work on like threshold protection with her. One of your first dreams was her knocking on your door. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I feel like, you know, Nico, you're like the main person who I get so much like visual confirmation with, or like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of details often that I include in my readings for you that end up being relevant because you do a lot of work that's around visual information. Spiritual fart. Hello. Welcome back to the stream. I feel like you've been here before. Eye tattoos. That's cool. But yeah, as I mentioned, her epithet Propylaea is coming through. Oh, that's Analia. Yeah, but she was mentioning threshold protections, doorway protections. Get one more oracle card. Oh. So we have Inalia and we have Dadophoros, Torchbearer. Do tarot cards. Alright, cool. Well, even though the new year isn't that far away, you know, it's less than 2 weeks away, people. In 12 days away. She is communicating that if there is something at the moment or like during these next couple of weeks where you feel as though you would benefit from a sort of like, you know, clearly here, emotional guidance. You just read the keywords, but yeah, emotional guidance or sort of having her hand in matters or being a little bit involved, like as a little treat. Don't be afraid to reach out, even just for like a little thing, you know, not temporarily, but like, and it's not quite a false start, but more so just, you know, she's around already, of course, and she respects you officially starting next year. But she is offering her hand in, you know, in what may come up. I'm not sure if holiday season is particularly charged for you in any way, but, you know, that's there. Newsflash, Quinn can read. That's the idea. For your tarot cards, we have the Three of Wands, which just further emphasizes to me this idea around her being ready to go. doesn't mean you have to start earlier than you plan to. Only that, you know, she's got ideas, she has plans. You're not going to be just going off into the void when you start. Perhaps you already know this as well, that she has some ideas in mind for you, but yeah, sounds like there's some good preparation as well. So if you're feeling a bit underprepared, you're not. You're prepared at a good standard. And there's a lot to get through. We have the Hermit here, which I very much like because we have the lantern holder, and you know, Hecate is very associated with lanterns and lamps and torches and lights. It goes very well with this card, the Torchbearer, the Dadaforos. I mean, I'm already going to assume you engage in quite a lot of self-reflection and contemplation already, which is also what the Hermit is associated with. I think as well, actually, yeah, as you say here, you always feel underprepared. Like, it links well with the Three of Wands, like if you see them together, because the Hermit can also speak on like how you can only see so far ahead with the light. Like, a lantern's not going to beam a giant light forward on your path to see everything. You're just going to see a little bit of what's around you. You're going to see what's sort of like where it's safe for you to step, ideally. And even though it can feel like you're left alone with your thoughts a lot, you're not going to be left alone. Like, she's going to be there with you. Also, this Hanya moment. Do the... Oh, where is she? There we go. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to move that. I moved it again. Oops. There we go. That's Canyon. Yeah. Ten of Swords. Oh. Moving the cat so it's not covering the card. There we go. Yep, Ten of Swords. So, not exactly the best card to get, but I do think it actually can be quite Hecatean as well, in a way, because it's like Hecate, you know, a lot of people talk about how she causes things, and people like go through a lot of change and like flip over, like their life is flipped over and stuff because of her. I would actually say as well, from what I've observed and from my own experiences, that she often also comes in when stuff just goes down and happens, and then she will see you on the ground here with the 10 swords in your back, and she'll come in and pick you up, and she'll be like, it's okay, you know, we're gonna get through this, we're gonna get the swords out of your back, and you're gonna rise up and, you know, transmute these swords into something even better. Like, you know, 10 swords, that's 10 ace of swords, so there's 10 new opportunities, sort of like that vibe. But yeah, I get this like impression of her coming in after you've been knocked down and lifting you up, because that happened to me, and it's happened to a lot of people who work with Hecate. She comes in when we need her, and it's a good thing. Seems about right. Oh, that's good. Well, I hope. Hecate allegedly. I have plans that I cannot share with you, otherwise the haters will sabotage me. Oh no, a rough December. Yeah. I mean, she clearly sees that. She's going to come in and sweep you up, and she's ready for it. So, a lot of reassurance here about your decisions, her presence, your preparation, the plans she has. I think you're going to be doing great. It's going to be a good new beginning for you. On that topic, anyone else in the chat bringing in a new deity into their practice for 2026? Or at least like a hopeful, even if you're not starting at the start of the year. You're very welcome. Thank you for asking. Well, you didn't really ask. You spun the deity wheel, but, you know. Thanks for being here, and thanks for requesting a reading. It was good to do a reading with you, as always. Nepi says probably Demeter, Laces, Side Eyes, Hypnos, Here, I suppose. Bunny says household deities and spirits will be a big one. Oh, so true. Very good. Right, we've got B next. Oh, thank you, Nico. I appreciate that. Oop. B says maybe Athena. Not sure yet. Oh, work in marketing. True, true. Do you already work with, or do you already worship or have Hermes as part of your practice? Hermes is all over marketing. He is the marketing department. Zeus, but he's already here. Fully added Artemis, Hygeia, and Hestia. Ah, very nice. Neppy, if you were to perhaps donate, perhaps could you rejoin the queue? You perhaps could, yes. Because we do have spots still in the queue. So technically you'd be taking one of them fairly, if you did donate. And then there'd be 2 left. So feel free to. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you fell down the stairs and had a bad day yesterday. Oh, Neppy will be back. But we cannot have a blast without you. How could we have a blast without you here? Oh, that sucks. Yeah. It's been ages since I've ever, since I fell down the stairs. I think I did it once at the train station. And yeah, it really sucks. And it hurt. So I empathize and sympathize with you on that. Concrete stairs, that's not nice. They should have been carpeted, at least, but then maybe it would have been worse as well. There's bad things about carpets. Where were they if they were concrete? Was it in a apartment building? They have stairs like that, or outdoor stairs? See you, Van. Thank you for popping into the stream. Hope you have a good day. Oh, I see concrete stairs. That's not good. Oh, you got that of photos as well. Yay! Thanks, Neppy. Thank you for donating. Did not mean to drop all these cards. I'm gonna take that one back because I dropped it with the rest of them. All right.
I'll get straight to the point. I found marijuana in the house. And while I never thought of myself as the type of father who'd have to drug...
Yeah, just do the join command and then you'll be all set.
brought a joint into this house.
Dad, Lucy found something too.
Dad, I found a joint in Mom's dresser drawer.
We have 2 more slots left. Okay. So your cards from Hecate. Darophoros, Torchbearer, Guidance. So of course our classic, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We have Anasa Thamakidon, Queen of Witches, Sovereignty. And we have Philaremos, Lover of Solitude, Retreat. Alright. Yes, so as I had mentioned, she starts off the reading with, this idea that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and she acknowledges the things that you've experienced these last couple of days, and she knows that it's not easy, right? Like traversing a tunnel like this, it's long, you don't know where the end is, you can't see it, and even when you do have a torch there, it's like one torch, and it can still make it difficult to see where you're going. But she understands that, and it's like, I'm getting this image that you usually hold a torch for yourself. So it's not always like, she's not saying that she's always the one holding it for you. Sometimes you kind of, I say this in like in a kind of, not in a mean way, maybe a bit stubborn. I don't like calling people stubborn because it feels mean, but it's sort of the way where like you feel like you can handle yourself, and so you grab your own torch to carry, and you try not to rely on her to hold it for you. And I feel like there's a sense that she's offering to kind of come in with her torch just a little bit, like just to help a little bit. Very stubborn. Yeah, it's like, I kind of appreciate the outline here because it appears a bit like a shadow, blends in. There's no distinct actual figure there as a person, but almost like a ghost or a spirit, which can represent her as well. And I believe it shapes a little more about how this card applies to your situation, where you may not necessarily see her and how she's holding up the torch, but at the very least, you can still invite her in to help you with it, be a little less stubborn, especially when you're seeking out her support. Like, you'll have her support in your relationship and your connection, and, that's up to you and her. And at the same time, don't be afraid to ask a little as well, because sometimes we forget to ask. That can be due to getting comfortable, that can be due to not really knowing how to ask, or, being stubborn and wanting to do things ourselves. But, it's not about doing it ourselves all the time. And I think that's what's really good about sovereignty, Queen of Witches, because we have, a little coven here, these 3 witches around the cauldron under the moon, where we have an icon representing Hecate in the moon. And so she's even saying, she can provide some light, she can provide some guidance here. At the same time, there's other people around you that you can seek out to, band up with and gain support from. She'll oversee things as well. So even if she's not the only one there, she's still around. Like, just because you have other people you may go to too, doesn't mean she feels like you're dismissing her or anything. And I kind of like this continued imagery of like being hidden, because she's like in the moon. Reminds me of the Avatar quote, "My girlfriend turned into the moon." But yeah, this idea that she's still watching over, and she can be very subtle sometimes, but also not so subtle. It's like the moon isn't that subtle, especially the full moon, but it's like, it's not as if we're always meant to know when a deity is around us or watching over us, but she's around, and she acknowledges as well that you have people around you who can assist and lift you up and be with you on your side. The last card, Retreat, is her saying it's okay to retreat. It's okay to have a retreat moment. It's okay to rest, step back, to not do as much as you usually would like to do. Sometimes it just takes doing a little bit, or doing what's, it's sort of like some things are obligations, some things are extra. So, you have to go to work. This is an example, but like, you have to go to work if you're rostered, or like you're contracted to, or however your work may be structured. But then how much you do, ideally, doesn't have to be 100% all the time. And so turning up to work is already a lot. And then doing some of the work is already a lot. Basically, the idea that you don't have to perform at 100% all the time. It's okay to withdraw a little bit, to give yourself some time to heal, give yourself some time to venture through the tunnel, to seek out people to support you, and also to not be too stubborn that you can't ask for her assistance and her entrance into whatever it is that you may be experiencing, because deities do come in and they do help out, and they do have autonomy in that sense where they feel like this is the time for me to step in. At the same time, they're very respectful of our free will and our choices, so I'm sure she makes that known to you. I feel like she does, that she cares about you making your own choices, but it doesn't have to be two opposite extremes that don't collide ever. But there's your message from her today. I'm assuming you're at work right now, because you always have your meeting. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming into the stream, hanging out. Feel free to lurk as well. But yeah, it's good. Good reading, good vibes. Alright. It's Viv's turn. Vivi. I summon you. Oh, okay. Viv, you just got blessed by the Prophet Kitty. Those are some very good choices for your DC wheel. That's actually, you know what? Profligate means Sekhmet. We're doing a Sekhmet reading. Do you have a specific question, or are you just wanting a message that comes through? Oop. Don't mean to move the mat. One day when this wears down, I'm going to have to replace it, and that'll be sad. But hopefully by the time I have to, I'll find something that's nice and similar. Because this is just a random placemat I found once. Yeah, I just saw it. It was at one of those pop-up shops that are like in, they're just a bunch of tables in the middle of the shopping center as you're like walking down the corridor, the shops. And I saw it and I was like, I need that for divination. I don't know if I was even thinking about streaming. I was just thinking about doing readings on it. Oh, okay. Can you not? Did you see that? Very chaotic energy, which I guess makes a little bit of sense. Alright, let me quickly let her out of the room because I think she wants out. Maybe she needs to eat or use the bathroom. So I'll do that so she doesn't keep knocking things over. Let's gather these cards back. I think this card's for me because I was thinking about something, and this is like confirmation. So I was thinking about closing my queue, so I'm going to do that. Even though there's technically slots, I think I'm going to do the last 3 readings and then I'll be heading to sleep after. Let me actually concentrate or focus on Viv for this one. Oh. Ding 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 ding. I love it when Sekhmet card comes out for Sekhmet reading. You also got Bast, my beloved Bast. You got Newt. I'll read out the proper keywords in a second. And Geb. Oh, actually. Oh, wow, that's cool. These two pairing. It's actually cool to get both of these cards because they represent like the sky and the earth. I believe they're a couple. These two. Alright. Let's do another tarot card as well, I think. Alright, 6 of Pentacles. Alright, let's get into it. Your tarot cards are the Wheel. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. The Knave of Wands. So this... excuse me. This is the Page of Wands. And we have the 6 of Pentacles here. Sekhmet's keyword is justice. Bast's one is passion. Newt's one is understanding. And Geb's one is prosperity. Is there anything in particular that you've been working on with her recently? Since we last spoke? Or maybe an idea you've been speaking to her about but haven't quite started? This feels like something you've brought up or something you're doing at the moment where, you know, you're not doubting like as much, you're in it, like you are committed to it, but there's this sense of doubt as well where you wonder if your investment will pay off, like if you're going to get things get back what you put in, receive what you give. You've had a bit of a falling out with her. Ah, getting back to her currently. I see. I think that's this is like the wording I'm going to use is ticking boxes, I guess. Like that's the wording that came up, where she's sort of coming through acknowledging that, I don't know if this is related to your falling out, if this is related to just something that you're thinking of working on with her, but around the concept of I'm going to say being taken for granted, or it's sort of the vibes of you're working a junior role, but you're doing as much as the senior person in the organization, but then people don't really acknowledge how much you're doing because you have that label of being in the junior role. So it's that impression I get from the Knave of Wands, where it feels like, you know, you're a scribe, you're sitting there doing your work, but it feels like you do really high quality, phenomenal work, and you're just waiting to be seen in that, and waiting for some acknowledgement on something that you've been putting a lot of work or thought into. And it's not like, I'm gonna skip this song because it has a phone ringing in it, which is confusing. But yeah, it's like, it's not like a really big grand thing. Like when I say this, I wouldn't say you're looking for something that is like huge energy or huge, like something huge in your life, but more so something, it's the vibe of like you've begun something, or you're a beginner at something, such as the junior analogy, but you're actually like excelling at it. You're not the expert at it yet, but you show a lot of promise in whatever it is that you are doing. The Wheel of Fortune adds to that in the way that you're going to find a lot of success in it. You're going to get some good output. You're going to get good things back from it. It's sort of countering that worry that exists within the Six of Pentacles, where you may feel like, you know, you have to like spend a lot of time asking for what you want. Funnily enough, I just drew a Nine of Pentacles, which that's, I don't know, I just think that's funny. But yeah, this idea like of wondering if you need to ask for it or beg for it, or if you need to give a lot more than you get. And I'm seeing that there's going to be a bit more of a balancing out for you, and you're going to receive a lot more than you previously did. Maybe that's if you transitioned, or if it's to do with like if Sekhmet is able to like communicate with you in the right ways, or like have you understand enough. So when I say that, I mean that sometimes when we begin a certain like working relationship with a deity, you know, deities and humans, they are different in the way where we communicate. We communicate in different ways. That's why we use cards. That's why we use channeling. That's why we use omens and we interpret them. In your relationship, and maybe in uni too. Yeah, so there's different ways of communication, and sometimes you can feel like the other person isn't doing enough, and that's the truth of it, or like they're not like building the bridge. It's like they do something and they expect you to build most of the bridge. It can happen with deities, and it can also happen in other places in your life too. So it may apply across the board, but that's the context that we're being provided from the tarot cards. So now we move on to the oracle cards, which provide a bit more in terms of like steps or what the vibe is for the situation. I believe the appearance of Sekhmet in the Justice keyword isn't just because she's affirming her presence in the reading and just because it's cool for her to be here, but also Justice as a card can be about your personal justice and being just towards yourself, making choices that align with yourself, and you're not just thinking about other people, and, you know, letting yourself compromise your own values for other people. I think that goes together with the cards about passion, understanding, and prosperity, because those three keywords together really give me the impression of you allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to indulge in something that you'd like. And sometimes when you want to do something or like learn something, it might feel like, oh, why am I not like understanding this? Why am I not getting it? Why is nothing moving? And it can sometimes be a self-restriction thing as well, where you may be protecting yourself from an understanding of something because, or sort of in this context with the passion, it's like, if I get too passionate, like, what am I risking? And then so therefore you draw back and you don't let yourself be passionate enough to understand things, and then you don't get anything from it. Whereas it's kind of like turning that around is the solution in this case, where investing in yourself and in your personal justice and in your values and what you want, you know, it is difficult, but like without worrying about what other people are wanting you to be, that will give you more clarity in the situation, and therefore you'll gain a lot more. So it's like the things tie in together with like gain and loss. Not sure if this is helpful for you because it seems like it could apply to a few different areas. It can be particularly tricky if you're getting a message from her, but you've had a bit of a falling out, and then she could be talking about your deity relationship. She could also be talking about personal relationships. Where do you think you're sitting at the moment? If you want me to like elaborate on anything or focus on any particular aspect. Hello, Darrow. Unfortunately, the queue is closed for tonight, as I'll be heading to sleep after these last few readings. Cool. Hello.
I'll get straight to the point. I found in the house.
Yep, that's a JoJo's lo-fi. Bit of trouble as to where you should apply it. Let's pull up a different deck to identify the area. Is this about you and her? Is this about personal relationships? Is this about university? Knight of Wands, Nine of Swords. Four of Wands. Anything in your dreams recently? Trying to avoid having too much glare on these. Or sort of like, is there a specific area that's if you're related to like keeping you up at night that you're thinking about most, you know, before bed or in the morning when you're finishing up the day or getting started for the day? Oh, okay, that's not helpful. scattered. Let me have a think. Having the Knight of Swords pointed like that towards the Knight of Wands, and away, not facing the Four of Wands. Because like the Four of Wands I do associate with relationships, but it didn't feel like it was meant to say like relationships is the area of focus. It seems almost like it's meant to be contrasting the other cards. This is the Page of Wands. This is the Knight of Wands. So coming back to this imagery, alright, I think it is about university because we're getting called back to this imagery, which is, you know, describing, it's most associated with university and studies. Pentacles are grounded in earth and career and studies as well, not so much about relationships. There's a lack of cups. The Three of Cups I pulled was kind of was about confirmation regarding whether this was, if I was on the right track regarding interpreting that. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but is there like a general issue you're finding with uni at the moment? Whether it's like the workload, whether it's about the actual major you're doing, about the people around you. Usually it's not as difficult for me to identify, but it is late. So the later we get in the stream, the less easy it is for me to beam my thoughts so directly to understand things. But we get there because we pull cards and we inquire. Somehow the cord got undone from my mic stand. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Having dreams about writing tests, is very difficult and that's very stressful. Alright, let me clear this a little bit because we've identified that. We've confirmed that. Bring these cards back in. Alright, so if we start from the top, not quite the top, but just like if we do a bit of a refresh summary sort of vibe, knowing the scope. And from referring to what we've said so far. So, putting in the work for something you do care about, but it is difficult and can be quite taxing. Oh, no worries, Nico. Have a good work. Thank you for coming by. Then we have the Six of Pentacles here, the feeling of, having to give a lot, having to sort of like beg for things, having to try really hard and not knowing if you're going to get the same back. It's almost like if you split this down the middle, it's like, here's what it can feel like and this is what's going to come of it. Where we see, this investment in the studies, in the writing, in the actual doing of, and the planning of, and the beginnings of things. So like, when I say beginnings of things, it's like being in first year, for example, rather than third year. And that having the Wheel of Fortune coming into fruition, that you'll come across things that will be helpful. You'll see things through. You may, it's kind of like difficult to conceptualize when you have been in such a low spot regarding tests, and I can understand how it can feel for that, and how it's not easy to just like you don't just stop feeling that way, and no one can just say, why don't you just be better, because it's not how it works, and it's quite rude to say that. But at least what I'm saying here is that there will be things coming across your way that will show you that you are doing well, despite what you may be experiencing, despite what you may be seeing as well. There's something more to it that's coming along. As well as here where we see the Six of Pentacles transitioning into the Nine of Pentacles, it tips the balance more into your favor in regards to what you're receiving in return. Whether that means, the break between semesters is going to be fulfilling for you, if that means getting good achievements, if that means next semester will be better than this one. It's all around this idea that you're going to get more and you're going to get something that you want out of it. Like, Nine of Pentacles doesn't mean you're getting more tests. It's something that works in your favor to get that. Returning back to the Oracle cards, it's sort of like Sekhmet's wishes for you, her sort of, I guess, advice, in a sense. For some reason, it's like a different word as well. Trying to decipher what the word is she's trying to say. It feels like a tough love sort of deal. I don't know how to explain thoughts. I think it's because I don't like telling people that like you're gonna tough it out to see what's on the other side, where she's very much like you gotta tough it out to see what's on the other side. Because for me, I'm a very sympathetic person, and I don't like it when people have to feel this way, and it can feel a bit like wrong to say, just deal with it. Not such in a blunt way, but I guess Sekhmet is a little bit blunt sometimes. Because I'm saying that because there's a lot of promise of good things, right? We see promise of good things here. We see promise of good things here. And there's no explicit thing saying you should make this big change, you should do this, you should do that. And I get the sense that you don't really intend to make some sort of big shift in your studies at the moment. It's more about being seen in the feelings that you're experiencing, having space provided for you to feel these emotions, rather than people saying, no, you can't do that, you shouldn't be feeling this way, that's not allowed. And like having someone there to help you ride out the emotions. And sometimes you can feel like you might not have someone near you who understands or will give you the patience and time of day. I mean, I don't blame you for don't worry, like you don't have to apologize for that. Yeah, you don't have to apologize. For me, I don't like delivering messages that feel all over the place. I get embarrassed because I'm like, oh, well, I should have known, you know. But sometimes readings are like that. They take a little bit of meandering, and I guess it makes sense. Like, it's not on you. Like, you don't have to say sorry because I don't put it on you at all. But it makes sense if someone does have a lot of things going on. It might be a bit difficult to identify, but it's not on you, so it's okay. Feeling seen part. Yeah. Like, I do think she knows this, that it's not about trying to fix the situation. Like, it's not about solutions. It's about just, well, literally here, understanding. But, yeah. I think she'll understand. You know, she can, you know, Sekhmet is quite solution-oriented. She is very action-oriented. But I think at the same time, she knows very intimately the idea around just having a presence in a space, and yes, it being seen. But yeah, you said you get it, so hopefully that helps in your situation. It's, you know, it's not a nice one to be in, but there do seem to be better things coming, and yeah, hopefully next time you get a reading you might be in a better spot, because, you know, I always wish my friends to be in a better spot. But we'll wrap up the reading there because I think I got the message across. You are more than welcome to keep typing if you are typing, or to like send messages. I will move the queue forward. You are very welcome, Vivi. Thanks for holding out on that. On us figuring out what was going on with the reading. We have Bunny next. If you're still around, let me know what you'd like for your reading, and we'll get right to it. In the next month, as in like from today to like 4 weeks from now, or do you mean in January specifically, or just for like the rest of December? Do you have a specific time frame in mind? And thank you for your patience, waiting for us to get to your reading. January, okay, cool. got that neurodivergence in me where I need to check which one you mean. Alright. Did you have any deck in mind that you wanted me to use, or do you want me to just go for it? Alright. Check in with Hermes, what he wants for you and from you in January. Oh. I feel like I've been drawing this card a lot recently. Digital Nomad. You also have Strength. Patience. Get a couple of these as well. Oh, okay. Three of Swords again. Scary card. Doesn't have to be scary. I'm just being silly. Alright. So I'm actually going to start with tarot cards once again, because I like how they provide a bit of context sometimes. I think it's interesting to see the polarizing Three of Swords and the Six of Wands, because it gives me the sense that there may be a conflict regarding inner feelings versus external recognition. So maybe this idea that you're getting recognized for the wrong things, or there's something you do want to be recognized for, but you haven't quite been able to get that so far. And it feels like adjacent to Hermes' domain. So it could be like directly related to your practice with him, or it could be related to... Oops, sorry, I hit the mic by accident. Could be related to something that you do in your life that you associate with Hermes. So, you know, for example, if you worked in communications related fields and that's related to Hermes because he's, you know, the god of communication, and that the context being that you may not be receiving recognition for the work you do, or that someone else is getting your recognition, or you are being recognized for some things that don't matter as much to you. Digital nomad comes up when it's something to do with like the internet and the digital world, and it can be associated with like if you want to do something with the internet or use it for something. The card speaks about making connections, and like the fact that we have, you know, the fact that having the internet means that we can make infinite connections with people around the world. Doesn't matter where they are, as long as they have a connection to the internet and a device, and, you know, happen to be on the same platform as you, or whatever way you communicate, you can connect with them. And then it's also the cautionary tale of, you know, people will just say things sometimes, people will be mean. There's no like direct filter to things going on online, which, you know, there's always this balance about what you filter and what you don't. You were talking with a friend about the potential relationship you could develop with Hermes, like learning about what ancient sources say about God spouse and the like. Yeah, because digital nomads about how you interact with things like information online, people online, and that's a very hot topic for something like God spousal. Something I feel inclined to say is that it's okay to not say that you're nowhere close to it, meaning that like around the right people, you don't need to cover yourself, like cover your own butt in a way. I'm not assuming that you're saying it for this reason. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, this is the impression sometimes, and this is what I think Hermes wants to say as well on this matter, because it's a very prevalent thing online. People say, like, they will say, I'm not close to this, or it's going to be years before I do this, or it's not going to happen until, like, for, like, a long time. And sometimes people say it because they get a bit intimidated by people who kind of go out of their way to tell people off for showing an interest. So I don't know if you've come across it already, but you know, there are plenty of people who are God spouses or speak about God spousal, and people get reprimanded because they feel a desire towards it. And so then they end up feeling like they have to cover themselves up by saying, well, I'm nowhere near it, or I wouldn't consider it for myself, but I'm like looking into it. Things like that. He's sort of saying like you don't have to cover your tracks, so to speak. Like you can, maybe personally you do believe that you're nowhere near it or nowhere close to it, but in the right places, you don't have to present yourself in that way, because it's okay. I think, like, for me personally, like, this is me personally now, it's not part of the message, but I think it's cool when people, like, if they want to say that they're into, like, wanting to research it, even if they're not, like, near it or anything. That's just how it goes sometimes. You never know, because gods can be unpredictable. That makes sense. Yeah. As long as you're coming from a place of like a personal thing rather than letting other people make you feel like you can't express yourself in a truthful way, then that's good. Because that's what digital nomad's all about, right? It's about how you present yourself and how others present themselves, and how the interaction works in that case. I like the strength and patience are around the card, like on two sides, because it's kind of like you're supported by strength and patience. So I would say that you have a lot of like strong habits in regards to researching. You care a lot about research. You care a lot about the way that you consume information. You question things. You're curious. And at the same time, you are, of course, exhibiting a lot of patience. And that's something that's good, because, you know, I don't judge anyone for having like a fast beginning to things, because sometimes there are things we don't see happen in the background. There's no like exact way to train for roles, court for God spousal, etc., etc. But having patience is always just useful, because even if you were to initiate a relationship or like a courting stage of a relationship, using the word courting generally, not as a specific subscription to a certain structure, there's still like patience to be had. Yeah, I get that. It was like number one lesson that Hecate was teaching me at the start of this year. And, you know, it's, as you said, lifelong, but I was out there Googling what the definition of patience was, just to like learn more about what she was trying to get me to understand about patience. So it's a funny journey sometimes. Oh. Overall, I think that with what you're looking into, you're on the right track in regards to the values that you're prioritizing. Oh, donation. Thank you, Vivi. Charlie, you're able to be here, but I'm gonna finish the stream soon. And the queue is closed. I'm so sorry. I'm just too EP. I'm sorry. The EPness does consume. I would do it if I wasn't EP. But yeah, you seem to be on the right track, and you're going to find like the through line is what I'm hearing. The through line, the recognition, the sort of like you may feel like two things are like they're floating by each other and they're not quite like connecting, but you're going to find that connection. That's what I see, like the image of. I keep doing that gesture, and then people keep laughing about it because not in the stream, but like in real life, like in person. Not in real life, but in person because of the freaking 6-7 thing. But anyway, the two platforms that are currently floating past each other, they're going to connect at one point and you're going to find it. Like there's a through line he's saying that you're going to get, and it's going to make things make more sense for you. But yeah, this is all looking really good is what I've got to say. Hopefully that makes sense for you, Bunny. Bye, Vivi. As always, feel free to DM me about your analysis if you'd like, not forced. Have a good day. You're welcome. Thank you for requesting the reading. And it's interesting that you are researching about that. If you ever want to talk about your research and what you're finding, feel free to, you can talk about it in the sanctuary because as noted in our FAQ channel, God Spousal is not a restricted topic in our server, so you're more than welcome to talk about it, especially from a research point of view. Are you still here, Neppy? I don't know if you've fallen asleep or anything, waiting for your turn again. And if you're not here, I'll just do one in Discord. You can be an extra slot for the divination event. Oh my goodness, you're still here. You stayed up. Lay it on me. Let me know what you want for your reading and we'll get that done. And then we can go sleepies. Okay. You know what, Neppy? I like your initiative. And I'm sure she loves it too. It's good to follow those instincts because that's the way you learn, right? Literally, like the number one way to develop your senses and your intuition is to just sometimes trust it because it doesn't harm you to feel like she has something to say. And she won't be offended if you assume she has something to say, but she doesn't because, there's communication barriers and God's understanding of that sort of thing. Those are very good cards. Basically like Hermes. That is a very high compliment. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's like being a mini messenger. Well, I suppose Hermes is a messenger of the gods, so he does a lot of messages between gods. And then sometimes between gods and mortals. And then there are messages down here where we are we can do like in between. He's like the boss. I can imagine him handing out different assignments to people. The number of times today we've had the Seven of Cups come up. All right. Yeah, I guess it's like, yeah, it's just that's the astrological event, the Seven of Cups. Maybe if someone actually knows astrology, they can do an analysis on that claim. But yeah. Yeah, but clearly the astrological event here is making it happen. Exactly right. All right. All right, I'm gonna speak basically like dialogue of what like she's saying, because there's stuff that she's saying, so I'm just gonna like communicate it to you. I'm gonna speak it to you rather than trying to do it indirectly. I'm just gonna commentate like she immediately was just like, she immediately greeted you. Greeted you in the way of saying, hello, Nikita. You do need to trust your intuition a little more, because when I want someone to know that I have a message for them, they will know. And at that point, it is on them to decide to receive it. The cards laid out here represent a choice that I've been waiting for you to make. It is a choice related to your path. One that you may feel hesitant to take because you feel as though you are not ready for it, or as though you don't have the capability of even claiming such a thing. When you look at yourself alongside your peers, you see yourself as smaller, less capable. But you are more capable than you realize, and it is a lesson that you have been told time and time again over the last few months by a variety of divinities. That you should trust yourself, develop your skills, communicate more with us. Irototokea is an epithet about love and care. It's about how you are not in a space where you were neglected of development or neglected of support. And it means that you can cultivate your desires on your pathway. You don't have to wait for me to say yes for you to walk the path that you are seeing. You just have to let yourself see the path. Sometimes gods are not going to come knocking on your door, presenting you a path on a silver platter. Sometimes it's one that is formed like a craft project, a knitting project, one where the stitches come together over time because you've put the work into it, a delicate use of needles and hand movement and wool or yarn, until eventually you come to see what the product is going to be. But you can admit at the same time that from the very beginning you had an idea of where you wanted to go. Therefore, the path and the journey. You've had an inkling from the very beginning about where I've wanted you to go, and you haven't quite been ready for that, which I understand, but there is also only so long that I can continue to guide you towards making the choice that you know that you need to make. The Chariot is a card that represents determination, willpower, making a choice, as mentioned, and taking the path that you believe to be right. It's about being a trailblazer for yourself, setting a standard for yourself. You are the one who was controlling the chariot. Seven of Cups, as mentioned, the card that's been popping up. And, as you've heard a number of times, associated with choices to be made. And especially ones that may seem like they need to be unveiled in a certain way for you to fully be confident in making the choice. But, Nikita, that will not always be the case. You will not always see everything that comes with a choice. You will not see everything that comes along a path. At least not in the present moment, because one of the things that we wish for you to work on is your ability to trust when you see something and to interpret it in the right way, or at least to be brave enough to try to interpret it, because you will not always get it right on the first try, and that's okay, but at least you give it a try. Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about planning. So when you do accept and fully realize what is being asked of you and allow yourself to interpret it and question it and also seek out more information about the path that you are on, you will see much more clearly the landscape ahead of you. It doesn't have to be one that you tumble down a mountain quickly and suddenly land where it is that you're being guided towards, but you can still go at a gradual pace while realizing and understanding the space you have to explore this, while knowing that you are being guided divinely and by the people around you in your community. There are things that you admire about others that you are capable of aspiring towards as well. And that's her message for you, Neppy. Hopefully it all makes sense. Also, hello Lightseeker. Unfortunately, we're closing up the queue for tonight. Our astrology experts in the chat, the Seven of Cups in consideration to the illusion of choice could be tied to the strong energy of Neptune's recent return to stationing direct. Oh, Neptune's recent return, that's so funny. Neptune energy, Neppy energy. Yes, I do think it's related. I think there's something for you there, Neppy. Guys, I'm coming back. She's so back. I definitely think it's divination related. Well, that was a cool reading. end off with. And I think you were very right about your guess that she had something to say. Sometimes what you're looking for is already around you, and that you'll be able to figure it out. Because one of the things with spirituality, sometimes we kind of hype up things a bit too much, and like we see them as too distant from us to grasp, and then we do, and then we're like, oh, okay, it was that easy all along. So it might be easier than you think. Especially the way that she was regarding your capabilities. Oh, that's so nice. She loves being over the shoulder. Okay, my wonderful friends and viewers, it's time for me to wrap up the stream so I can go sleepy sleeps. Let's see if there's anyone online to raid for today. You should say a prayer tonight and see if you can get some messages in your dreams. I mean, it's not like foolproof, but could be a good idea. You're welcome, everyone. Welcome, Neppy. And thank you for the good nights. Good night to people who are going to sleep as well, or have a good day for others. Let's go raid Wick. It's been a while since we've been on at the same time. Alright, I'll catch you all next week for our next stream. Oh, actually, what days are going to be next week? On Thursday. It's going to be Christmas. Oh. Well, we'll see. Because it's going to be Christmas. We'll see if there'll be a Christmas one. Yeah, it's a possible skip. I'll let people know in the sanctuary if we're skipping it. But yeah, thanks everyone. Let's go raid Wick.